muhsineen, name it. Believe in Allah, believe in the Quran, believe in the message, believe in the five pillar of Islam, and one of them salah. And the second word is salah, which means prayer. I mean physical prayer, not the dua, not the supplication, not the recitation of the Quran. No, salah, physical prayer, 5 times a day. Fajr 2 rak'ah, Zuhr 4 rak'ah, Asr 4 rak'ah, Maghrib 3 rak'ah, Isha 4 rak'ah. This is the fard, 17 rak'ah. And the third word is 2 words in Arabic. One of them da'imun, and the other word in verse 29, yuhafizun. What the material in front of me said about da'imun first and yuhafizun. Da'imun, do you know the time of the salah? No. You are not one of them, sorry to tell you. Did you know what the time of Fajr? Do you know what the time of Zuhr? Do you know what the time of Maghrib? Do you know the time of Asr, Isha? Do you know the time, physical time? If you don't know the timing and you like just to pray according to your hawa and according when you have nothing to do and you don't have job and you do when you are free, that verse does not apply to you. Second thing, do you know Arkan al-Salah and what you're supposed to do in every rak'ah? From standing, the recitation, the bowing down. Do you know this thing and why you are doing it? If you don't know it, which means you are not included in this. By knowing the timing of the salah, by knowing, arkan al-salah, wajibat al-salah, and the other word, when you are in salah, do you have sakina? Are you rushed to the salah? Are you follow the imam without understanding, which means no sakina, no salah? And the last one is in my note, the word khushu', to be humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and nothing will take you away from the salah except your khushu'. And here I can inject something. One of a Sahabi doctor, Sahabi MD, want to help other Sahabi by taking his legs away from his body, trim his legs away from his body. He said, how can I do it for you? He said, let me enter the salah and you take it. And when he entered the salah, he lost his legs with the operation. Looks like he don't feel it because he was with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is about, from my note, about da'imun. And let me go to the yuhafizun. To be muhafiz ala salah, to be very serious about your salah, you have to, beside the 5 times salah, beside the 5 times the prayer, please don't skip the sunnah, which means the salah have mawaqit timing, have arkan, have a pillar, have wajibat, some obligatory to do it, and some mustahabbat to add it to the salah. Be with the wudu, part of the salah. After the salah, try to have many zikr, many dua, and don't rush to finish your salah very quickly because you are in hurry. And finally, don't forget the last, the 33, and one more, to make tasbih, tahmeed, takbir, and la ilaha illallah 1 time before you move from your masjid or from your musalla, inshallah ta'ala. Please, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, salah, it is not a sport. Salah, it is not only we do it on a free time, but consider those 2 verses from the recitation tonight of Abu Yazid, Jazahullah Khair, from Surah Al-Ma'arij, verse 23 and 29. Read it, prepare yourself to be among the Musallin, and may Allah accept our salah, may Allah accept our recitation, and may Allah accept our zoom, and may Allah reward all of you. Jazakumullah khair. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه يغفر لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الشيخ حمد، جزاك الله خير، تقبل الله منا ومنكم، وأعاننا على أداء الصلاة على حقها الكامل.
آمين يا رب.
رحم الله والدينا ووالديكم ووالد المستمعين أجمعين. فضيلة الأستاذ أحمد, we talk from your time 7 minutes. Inshallah, we'll add it to you in the after 8 o'clock. Inshallah, 7 minutes. Abdul Majid, remember that.
No problem, inshallah.
تفضل فضيلة الأستاذ.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله، وأصلي وأسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي، ثم أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
So I'm very happy to be back here again. Inshallah, today is the last part of this lecture series, دروس من حياة الصحابي الجليل أبو عبيدة ibn al-Jarrah, or lessons from the life of Abu Ubaidah. Basically and primarily, this is a speech, as the shortest speech that he delivered minutes before he died in Damascus when he was commanding the Muslim forces. And as a responsible citizen, as a leader, as a commander, he realized that in Islam, as a responsible citizen, as a Muslim, everyone, especially if he or she is in the leadership role, has a lot of responsibilities with regards to his community, to his people, to his society, and we need to remember them all the time. And this speech demonstrates that these Sahaba radiallahu anhum were students of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was khayra muallim, the best of the teacher, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the ability of jawami'ul kalim, meaning speaking short words, brief and concise words, and a lot of meaning. And his Sahaba radiallahu anhum were fascinating individuals. They learned directly from him, and his speeches, their statements are also so short and sweet, and so comprehensive, so deep in meaning. That's why the purpose is not only to remember them and their achievements and their status and the skills and qualities, but also to follow their footsteps and to practice the lessons. So just a quick summary for the speech. We talked about, there are 7 points from his speech. So this was the first part. And look, he spoke only 2 words and how much came from it. So he talked about basically virtues of Salah, and the recitation that was done has the same subject, and Imam Shibli was motivating us all to be responsible, to be regular, to be punctual, and to be serious in our Salah. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you need to establish Salah. So establishment of Salah, not praying. Praying is the individual obligation, but establishing is a collective responsibility that we need to come together so that the Salah can be established. Also, there are 2 specific benefits of Salah. One is if we would like to remove al-fahsha, the immorality, shameful actions and deeds and intention. So the one when we associate our Salah, that we do not have nothing to do with it. And the second benefit is al-munkar, anything which is inappropriate, anything which is bad, which is forbidden, which is even against the norms of the society. Also, Salah builds and establishes our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, it generates our love, obedience, and sacrifice as a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salah brings us discipline. So the institution of Salah basically is an institution of discipline. And discipline is life is very, very important. So those in the leadership, they are, as we said last time, disciplinarians. So imams are disciplinarian for the community. The mother, the father, the director, the imam, the supervisor, anybody who is in the leadership are disciplinarians are in one way or the other. Then we also talked that Salah teaches us the universal lesson of human equality and social justice, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a law. He treats everyone humanly equal. And there are no barriers, so none is preferable or superior to one another. It builds a righteous personality, it increases taqwa, and it creates and establishes a corruption-free society. So what is remarkable here, that Abu Ubaidah spoke only 2 words, Aqimu Salah, and this many lessons came out, and this is what I could retrieve, and there may be many, many more. The second one, he said, Sumu Shahra Ramadan. He emphasized fasting, because if we would like to have taqwa, we have to fast. So fasting is a tool to gain taqwa. And taqwa actually means wiqaya, the protection, the shield, a barrier or safety. Then we said, Ali ibn Abi Talib said, at-taqwa, what is taqwa? Al-khawfu min al-jalil, when you fear Allah. Wal-amalu bil-tanzil, when you act upon the Quran. Wal-qana'atu bil-qalil, when you are still happy, even if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you less. Wal-isti'adadu li-yawm al-rahil, and you all the time get ready for your departure for. It means ultimately you have to go. And then he mentioned about, he reminded about the virtues of fasting. Fasting is special. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, fasting is for me and I will reward. It builds avoid sins, motivating for tawbah. It develops the righteous personality, and finally, it strengthens discipline and purifies the heart. The third advice, we will need to take the acts of sadaqah seriously. So, sadaqah makes us thankful, servant of Allah, and the bounties that we are surrounded with. We also learned that Rasul says that at the end of time, there will be time that people will walk around to give sadaqah to people, but we will not find anybody to accept that. So it means there is a lesson that we need to hurry up and always keep doing sadaqah. Sadaqah is a proof, we learned last time. Sadaqah generates care and concern and love for others. It's a financial equality, helping others, fair and equal distribution of wealth, also social justice, and also a source of active participation to support, because with our money, with our time, with our support, we support masajid, centers, and organizations, individuals, widowed, poor people, etc., etc. The fourth one, hujju wa atamiru, partly because it's a mandatory right, partly because it's Allah's law of human and social equality, because this Quran assembly tells us that we're all one, regardless of our race, ethnicity, color, creed, language, barrier. And we also, because we learned the law of social justice, we are the defenders of justice. So we support causes of justice for everyone, Muslims and non-Muslims. We are actually defenders. And so when justice prevails, we are against discrimination, any discrimination and every discrimination, which is against race, inequality, color, creed, language, barrier, etc., etc. And then helps us set us the priorities. It teaches us the goal setting, take the right decision, because Hajj is a major decision of life. It's a very, very big decision when a person goes to Hajj. So that's why It makes us learn how to make the right decision at the right time. Because sometimes the decisions are taken, right decision, but at the wrong time, and they are not effective. And this was the last one for last week. Tawasaw, it means learn how to enjoy what is right and what is wrong. And this is actually ishara of the two responsibilities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. Kuntum khayra ummatin, you are the best of ummah ever raised for this mankind, us, me and you. And we have everyone has two obligations. One, ta'muruna bil ma'ruf, amr bil ma'ruf, anywhere and anywhere we enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. So when we move, goodness moves around with us. Equally, we uproot the evil. At-tawasi bil haqq and tawasi bil sabr, as mentioned in Surah Al-Asr. So this is also, and then the Rasul said, we learned last time that the believer is wonderful, both situations. So when he is in happy mode, in prosperity, he turned out to be thankful. And when he is in pain, difficulty, he is patient. So in both cases, his matter is wonderful. His tawasi increases mutual love, respect for others. We love each other. Because when we ask others, how are you? Assalamu alaikum, a phone call for someone. Someone gets sick and we call or email asking. And someone who is in pain, if someone asks him, he feels so good. So Islam is a beautiful religion. And Abu Ubaidah was smart enough to tell this advice by simply one word, even he said tawasul. And tawasul is an Arabic word. Tawasa is any action that comes from both sides. Any action that comes from both sides increases patience and steadfastness, improves our behavior, demeanor, and helps us lead by example. And the last one is establishes a virtuous, free, evil society. So look, there's only 7 words, and how much comes out. So one has to have intention to learn. So there is a lot to learn with these small statements. So now, this is the 6th one. And this is beautiful. This block has 3 letters. وَانْصَحُوا لِأُمَرَائِكُمْ وَلَا تَغُشُّوهُمْ. Strengthen leadership. It talks about our leadership because we live here as a community. We have masajid. We gather in our masajid. And I really appreciate if you give me your good attention because this part is very, very important. Look, Abu Ubaidah was very smart, very intelligent, very wise. So he not only advised individuals, but then he advised for the leadership also. And then he was mindful that individuals are part of leadership. The way me and you are attached to our masajid, our organization. So he basically is saying that nasiha, insahu came from nasiha. So he said our job is to give sincere advices for your leadership because they lead us. So they are the leaders and we are the followers. Allah taghushuhum, ghush means deception and cheating. So what's the first lesson? وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ ذِكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, and remind. For reminding benefits the believers. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a command, it's fard. So I have to do that, you have to do that, everyone has to do that. This is a divine command and an individual responsibility to enjoin everyone. So even if I go to the masjid, if I have an association with a center, with an organization, with a leadership, it is my job to go and help the leadership, give them sincere advices, good suggestions, by keep on giving moral support also. Also, it's part of the 6 rights that Rasul said. A Muslim has 6 rights over fellow Muslims. So he said, when you meet with him, say Assalamu alaikum. When he invites you, accept his invitation in a party. That's why the color code is red. And when he's seeking advice, a lot of people seek consultations, right? Because they're struggling to make a decision. And they want some sincere person to give them a sincere advice, a counsel. So a lot of times in families, outside, in our friends, and people who love us, they all. وَإِذَا عَطَسَ فَحَمِدَ اللَّهَ, and when he sneezes and praises Allah, say يَرْحَمُكَ اللَّهِ. And when he falls sick, then عِيَادَةً. وَإِذَا مَاتَ فَأَتْبِعُهُ. So Islam is a religion of connectivity. It connects people at every level so that it creates a bonding. What else? It says, reminding others was also part of the stated mission of prophets of Allah. All the prophets of Allah, from Nuh to Hud to Sulaiman to Shu'aib to Ibrahim, all these people, their job is to invite other people to do nasiha. Nuh alayhi salam to his people, Hud alayhi salam said, وإذ قال لقومه يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره. He said there is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then his people said يا قوم ما لكم من إله غيره ولا تتقون. I forgot the ayah, but it says that they accuse him إنا لنراك في سفاهة وإنا لنظنك من الكاذبين. Some people, they accuse those prophets of Allah that you are lying and you are foolish. So they said, قال ليس بي سفاهة ولكني رسول من رب العالمين. So giving nasiha is part of the stated mission of the prophets of Allah. So we need to constantly have to do this process. It strengthens our individual and collective participation. So in the masjid, there is an imam, there is a board, there is shura, there is leadership, but then we have to do our role too. We as individuals, for example, if we stop going to the masjid, that doesn't make sense. So we need our moral support, continuous participation, and even giving suggestions. Moral support is very important. And look, it improves and it streamlines the two-way communication between leadership and the community. A leadership has to communicate so many matters concerning Muslims: safety matters, beneficial matters, education, counseling, youth, all these blah blah issues. So we need to be connected with the masjid. Builds and strengthens mutual trust and consensus among community. So leadership depends a lot on the community, and the community depends a lot on the leader. So tawasaw bil haqq and tawasaw bil sabr, tawasaw bil khayr, and ta'awanu ala al birri wa taqwa, cooperation, collaboration based on righteousness and piety. ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. No cooperation and collaboration based on sin and aggression. This is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It removes division. So it brings unity, amity, betterment, hatred, doubts, social evils, and it strengthens community leadership. So Abu Ubaidah realized that I am leaving this world and there will be some other leader and I will be no more. So he kind of fulfilled his obligation to advise them what to do. And this is a sign of a responsible citizen, a responsible believer, and a responsible leader. So he discharged it. And the last advice is, وَلَا تُلْهِكُمُ الدُّنْيَا. He said, this dunya that you are living in, this is made for you. Just remember that. Beware of this dunya. And Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that غرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. So the worldly life must not deceive you. So there is a lot of deception in this worldly life. And Abu Ubaidah wanted to alert his community, his people. He said, you should be over deceived about Allah by the deceiver. Luqman, ayah number 33. Then الدنيا سجن المؤمن وجنة الكافر. Hadith narrated in Sahih Muslim, where Rasulullah said, the world is prison for the believer and is a Jannah for the disbeliever. So we struggle here. Our permanent home is Akhirah. So actually, this is dunya is to work for the Akhirah. Dunya mazra'atul Akhirah, as we said. Dunya is the harvest of the akhirah. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. It says on this life of the world, except enjoyment of delusion. So Abu Ubaidah said that, take your share from the dunya, but not at the expense of your akhirah. And he says, look, this is the most beautiful dua that I love to quote, and I encourage myself and everyone to memorize that. And it says, it is a very comprehensive dua, where it says, Allahumma aslih li dini, O Allah, make my religion easy for me, by virtue of which my affairs are protected. Because the baqa, my protection and my prosperity, lies in when I am attached with my deen. Ismatu amri, it's a protection for me. Now this is the deen. Look, the other part. Wa aslih li dunyaya. I know Allah fix my dunya also, allati fiha ma'ashi, and make good for me my life, where my life exists, because I'm dependent on this earth. I need this dunya. So fix my wa aslih li akhirati. So here it's three parts: the deen, the dunya, the akhirah. And he said, fix my akhirah, allati fiha ma'adi, because this is my ultimate destination. That's where I'm going to. This is my goal. So I'm not going to live forever in this dunya. So, oh Allah, help me to protect and safeguard and practice my deen, and help me to be proud of my deen. And then at the same time, you fix and protect my dunya, to which I have to enjoy, I have to take right. And then at the same time, make the akhirah also, because this is my ma'ad. And then he said, وَجَعَلِ الْحَيَاةَ زِيَادَةً لِي مِنْ كُلِّ فِي كُلِّ خَيْرٍ, and make my life prone to perform all types of goodness. And so long you keep me alive, make me keep doing good, because that good and khayr will go with me in the grave. And then after life is what? Death. So someday we're gonna die. So that's why he's saying, and make the death a comfort for me from every evil. Hadith narrated by Abu. It's a hadith, but it's a dua. So everyone is encouraged to remember that, because we are going through challenges in this life. And life is turmoil. Look at what Corona does or did to us. We are befallen by calamity, by disease, by deaths, by sicknesses, by. So in this, Rasul said that when you make dua for your deen, make dua for your dunya, make your dua for your akhirah, and make dua for your life to be comfort and khair in this life, and also make your maut satisfaction for you, or comfort for you against all evil. So he's saying, actually enjoy this life and take your share, but not at the expense of the akhirah. Do not get too much involved that you forget your akhirah, because that's not your goal. Your goal is to build and safeguard and invest for your akhirah, not this dunya. This dunya is just for you to take benefits from it. And finally, act responsible, recognize the value of your life. Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you life, give you life. The life is short, it's certain. And life is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And know that your obligation and what are your assignments, responsibilities, try to recognize them. Fulfill them to the best of your ability. Fulfill them to the best of your power. And these are the lessons that he gave. He strike a balance between fasting and salah and sawm, and but at the end he turned out. So there is some individual responsibility, but I think there is a community, like a collective responsibilities, that we are all part of this process that we need to do. Some of it collectively, individually, because it benefits me individually, and we got to do something like tawasi. It connects everyone. So I benefit myself, but at the same time I benefit someone else in the community. And this, and the last, he finished his speech by saying, remember always, life is short. This is the bottom line lesson that says, he said, always remember this lesson. I am dying, Abu Ubaidah, told his people, look, I came, I struggled, I fulfilled my obligations, I commanded you, I was your companion, I was your friend, I was your commander, but then my life is ending now. My end is near and I'm dying. So just remember that your life too is a short life and the end is near. That's why when we go to graveyard, what do we say? Assalamu alaikum ya ahl al-diyar, or the dwellers of the grave. Assalamu alaikum. Antum as-sabiqun wa nahnu al-lahiqun. The only difference between you and us is that you came early and we are just following you. So we're going to die. So what's the first lesson for this? He said this. He said something beautiful statement. He said, فَإِنَّ الْمَرْأَةَ, a person, لَوْ عُمِّرَ أَلْفَ حَوْلٍ, even though if it is given an age of 1,000 years, and if a person lives for 1,000 years, will he be alive? No. مَا كَانَ لَهُ بُدٌّ. There is no way for him that he will not return to the same end as you see mine. I came, I struggled, I lived, I did my job, and now I'm going to my masra, to my life, to my death. That's the end of life. هذا الذي ترون. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And this, he finished his speech. So let's take the speech one more time as a review. That was his quick speech. And if we can compare this speech as today's speech. Today we speak like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, 1 hour. Well, this is a remarkable speech. It's like maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes or maybe 5 minutes. We'll see how much this ocean of knowledge comes from these words. Establish your salah and fast. Do not neglect your fasting. Develop the habit of fasting, not only in Ramadan, but also in out of Ramadan. Have the habit of giving sadaqah, give from your side, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you, and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and make a good decisions in your life. So when it comes to do Hajj and Umrah, do not delay, perform it, and then you will learn. When you see all these Halaqah, the huge grand assembly in Mecca and in Arafat, you see, you learn the life lessons, universal lessons of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tawasaw, continue to enjoy and give advices to each other. Wansahu li amaraikum, be sincere to your leaders. Strengthen your leadership in your masajid, your centers, wala taghushuhum, do not deceive them. Be sincere to them, give them all the advices. Wala tulhikum dunya, make sure that this dunya should not divert your attention from your main goal, because dunya is not your goal is your akhirah. And he said, finally, remember that even the man, if he lives 1,000 years, there is no alternative, no escape for him with the end, the final end, as you see mine. So I came and I'm dying, so you will, one day you will die too. So the time is short, the goal is far, and the job has to do a lot more. So we need to enjoy and take care of your time before the life goes away. So that was the speech. Inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us understand each. And inshallah, I will post this text and the translation on your group for everyone to read and practice. And I think this is a good way to even educate the message to our younger children, because this is something so beautiful that our children needs to learn those small lessons. We can simplify it, give example of each word, and what our children do not know now, because we are coming from a generation that is not being born and raised here. But our children are living here, they are being born and raised here. So we need to do some tarbiyah for them, to tell them these small benefits from these things. These children who are born and raised here, they're very smart, intelligent people. And if we were to communicate these golden lessons to them in their language, in a way they understand, inshallah, it will be beneficial for their life. So, jazakumullahu khairan. And inshallah, if you have any comments or... I tried to finish on time. Oh, still I...
Yeah, you are on time, I think. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. The floor belongs to Imam Muhammad. I think we are not seeing any hand raised.
I hope, inshallah, this will be beneficial for everyone.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Ahmad. Really, I have a question, and also we have time for anyone have a question. But I don't want you to give me long answer because I want to give permission to other brother or sister to ask
Sure.
after me. Sheikh Ahmad, Surah Wal-Asr, إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا except الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا. We are in community now or in mujtama. Most of the people, they say, never mind, it's not my business. What do you think about those Muslims who آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات, but when you come to tawasaw, they don't do the tawasaw. They, what you call it, delete it from their life.
I think the short answer is that in order to do tawasaw bil haqq and tawasi bis sabr, the two processes, you see they're well connected with the first two, iman and amal salih. So iman and amal salih, if I sincerely practice my iman, my belief, and then iman is not acceptable without action. So if iman is being reflected with my decisions, with my actions that I do, that will by default admire me and motivate me to do the next two. So, and as far as your question, that some people who are interested in only the first one because they're Muslims and they have good actions, but they are not so much excited to do this tawasi bil khair. I think, in my opinion, I guess the reason is because maybe they their iman is not so strong and so motivating for them to take part. Had their iman being strong, there is absolutely no reason, because it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words. So if you are a strong Muslim, if your belief is strong, you definitely are in the forefront to do this job.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Brother, sister, we still have time. Please, if you have any question, let us get more benefit and knowledge from Sheikh Ahmad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Please also mention in your comments the how it what you liked about this lecture series.
Go ahead, sister.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just take, I don't know you got it or no, I just take this for the message because one of my friend Fatuma Kamara,
Yeah,
mom,
I got it, inshallah. We'll do it.
Okay, shukran. I just want to make sure you got it. Shukran, jazakumullah. Thank you so much.
Shukran, sister.
I don't know what message you're trying to.
Yeah, she need the dua for sister. Inshallah, I will let you.
Okay, inshallah.
Okay, I have a comment to make. Very good job done, Ustadh. You didn't touch his death and legacy.
What?
Death of Abu Ubaidah and his legacy too. I think you were scheduled to do that for this last session.
I didn't get you. What you said?
It's his death and his legacy. I think last time, you did allude that you will cover that thing, in the last lecture.
Well,
that is
actually,
today.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my apologies. When the ta'un is spread the whole town,
Right.
and this was the cause of the dangerous disease of plague, the ta'un. Ta'un is a mutaaddi, disease that is spreadable, is communicable disease. So if one person, that's why Rasulullah said that if there is a ta'un spreading in town, and if you are there, do not come out. And if you are not there, do not go there. So that's why when his soldiers started dying, and then the disease fell on Abu Ubaidah, also was afflicted. And this is the reason he excused himself, requested to be excused from Amir al-Mu'minin to report to Medina. So he allowed him to stay with his soldiers. So that was primarily the cause of his death, that disease.
Okay, Sheikh Ahmad,
I'm sorry.
We have a question from Brother Ibrahim Sharif. If you finish, Abdul Majid.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, I think, did you allude his relationship with Khalid bin Walid?
No, I did not talk about Khalid bin Walid because my major focus for this lecture series is to only discuss and understand contents of his speech.
All right. Jazakallah khair. Go ahead, Imam Ahmad.
Brother Ibrahim, assalamu alaikum. Go ahead.
Alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum, Ahmad Ansari.
How are you, mashallah?
Alhamdulillah. So I have a question about the lesson of giving feedback to leaders. So I actually agree 100% with the point of that we as within the community have a responsibility to give feedback to the community. But what happens when the leader isn't a good leader? Do you know what I mean? Like, if I have a leader, let's say in my local community, and I don't really think they're either good Muslims or they have good morals, what do we as a community do in those circumstances?
Okay, you have a very good question. A lot of people they feel that, but the way I look at it is that even if the leadership or one person or the whole entire leadership is not up to the mark or the way I expect him to perform, he's not doing that. But he's still a leader. So now, instead of going the other way around to criticize him and to pass remarks and talk about it, it's our responsibility to make sure that give him, improve our relationship with that leadership and try to give a group or individual of sincere people to approach them and to tell them in a nice way. So I think there are ways that are based on ethical standards, manners, because in Islam, leadership has a status. In leadership, there are manners so that concerns, disagreements, or dissatisfaction, unhappiness is to be reported. So this should be done through a courteous way. And if we follow a professional approach, a courteous approach, an Islamic approach rather, to address our concerns, our mistakes, I think this is more likely to give us a return back rather than going the other way around. And of course, it's possible that some people are maybe satisfied with the leadership, but there are ways to address that.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
Brother Agha.
Assalamu alaikum, Imam Muhammad. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. I have a very simple question.
Sure.
What do you say about leadership competency for entry-level Muslim?
For what?
For entry-level Muslim.
Oh, entry-level Muslim, yes.
Yeah.
Wallahi, in my opinion, there is a hadith that Rasulullah says, أو كما قال, إذا أسند الأمر إلى غير أهله فانتظر الساعة. If matters are being assigned to people they do not deserve, or they're not competent, they're not qualified to carry that responsibility, then the Rasul says, then all you need to do is to wait for the hour, for Yawm al-Qiyamah. So it is also one of the signs. So I think we should not even, leadership is a difficult position. Leadership requires knowledge, skills, competencies, and I personally and sincerely and strongly believe that in the leadership there should be people who are at least qualified, who know their deen, and they are professionally educated, and they have communication skills, and they have other experiences required. So that's the miqyas and ma'ayir, or the standards that we should follow in terms of choosing our leadership. So if the leader is capable and experienced, people are always very happy with him.
Thank you very much, sir. Jazakallah khair.
Okay, Sheikh Ahmad, Jazakallah khair is 8:17, inshallah. We like to thank you And also we ask you to make dua, and please, if you can include your dua for Sister Fatamata, who is sick, and they ask us to make dua for her, inshallah. I think Sister Maryam, Sister Fatamata Kamara, right?
Yeah. Her Hania Fatima Kamara, her mom name.
Okay, Sister Fatima, Sister Maryam, they're sick, right?
Yes. She no, she fell down yesterday. She's in the hospital. She broke her hip in Africa.
So there are two sisters, right?
No, just one sister, Fatamata. Her name Fatamata.
Oh no, but you just mentioned Maryam also.
No, Maryam, the one who called.
Oh, okay.
No, Mulu. I call Mulu.
Sister, is this Fatamata? This Fatamata, the mother of her son Nasim?
Nazi. Yeah, Nazi mom. Yes, her name is Fatuma Kamara. Her mom name is Hania Fatuma Kamara.
I know, but her son Nazi.
Yes, brother. Yes.
What happened to her?
No, her mom in Africa is not Nazi mom, Nazi grandma.
Okay. Allah give her full shifa. تفضل فضيلة الشيخ أحمد.
شكرا جزاكم الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Oh Allah, we ask you to please help us in our challenges. Help us understand the speech and the advices that we heard from Sayyidina Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah radiallahu anhu. Bring it into our life to change our attitude, our behavior, and our conduct, and to become more beloved, more sincere, more stronger, more devout, more proud believers. And Allah, help us in our dunya, in our deen, and in our akhirah, as we mentioned, as we learned from the dua. And also for all the people who died, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on them, forgive their sins, and place them in the Jannah. Give sabr and salwan to the families and to the loved ones. And also, oh Allah, give shifa and a speedy recovery for all those who are sick, especially Sister Fatimada, who's undergoing treatment now, and all the other sick people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them a complete shifa and a speedy recovery. لا باس طهور إن شاء الله. أسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يشفيك. 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 May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them a complete cure and shifa, and help them to join their families back safe and sound. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وجزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام. شكرا.
جزاك الله خير Sheikh Ahmad. Thank you all brother and sisters. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Every day when we come to the Zoom program and we see each other and we listen to Quran and we listen to tafsir and we listen to dars from shuyukh, that is extra time or extra reward Allah give it to us because He loves us, inshallah. Inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see you tomorrow, healthy, safe, and with more energy, inshallah. Jazakum Allah khair.
And Sheikh Muhammad, with your permission,
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, Sheikh Muhammad, with your permission, I would like to request everyone that my parenting course is going to start this coming Saturday, inshallah. So if you are still haven't registered, I see 3 sisters from this group have already signed up. So alhamdulillah, we have good registration so far. So please go ahead and register. It's a complete, comprehensive 4 sessions. And we will go through all these parenting, the prophetic parenting in those 4 courses, inshallah. So please spread the word. We have only a few days remaining. So the class will start next Saturday at 1 p.m.
Sheikh Ahmad, Jazakallah khair. But you know, most of our program are a grandparent. Can we take this class too?
Allah. Allah. Yeah, Jazakallah. The grandparents are well-respected and experienced people. They have completed their motherly assignments already. Now they are mothers of mothers.
Alhamdulillah, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wal asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw. Wa tawasaw. Wa tawasaw bil haqq. Wa tawasaw bil sabr. Jazakumullah khair. Give love to Ahmad, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
You have to give two love because we have Ahmad Ansari and Ahmad Mimi.